clearly it needs to be condemned in the strongest terms because uh, some commentary that I've seen tries to give not an excuse but a rationale for the violence, and I think that's always very hard because, of course, there were people that were just intent on violence for violence sake. But there are a number of things to learn from it. I mean, maybe I'll start with one that's been pretty topical, and that's the role of online media, information, disinformation in the age that we currently live in. And we saw throughout the course of the week, a couple of weeks really, that played a key role in the initial instigation of violence. Following the simply awful and tragic murders in Southport, that initial disinformation about the identity of a potential perpetrator was what led to some of the early disorder. But then, as the time developed, how online information, disinformation was used to stoke up further violence, sometimes from overseas. We saw channels in the States and elsewhere, sort of extreme right type channels, but then also the ease at which people took to social media to vent their sort of hatred and racism, how that in part fueled the disorder, which was why I think the swift sort of criminal justice response was really important. So and I think as part of that, hopefully perpetrators of hatred online have recognised that there are consequences to doing that. I spoke at the end of that week that the online space is not some sort of abstract world. It's not some safe space where you can vent your anger. It's got real world consequences, and we saw that to a dramatic effect.